Hello there. Hi guys. I love coffee. And if I'm being honest, one of the first papers that I ever written in ENC 1101 was how to make French press coffee. So I thought it would be a perfect run to teach you guys how I make it. So the first things first is while we're getting situated over here, you want to have either a teapot, that kettle that you can boil, but this is the easy way. So we're gonna fill this up to about maybe like 1.2 liters. And then you also need to choose a coffee that you like. The tip is to make sure that it is beans, coffee beans, because it gives you a better flavor and it's not gonna have like that stale taste. Okay, so now I'm just gonna press down on this and it boils. So now we're gonna come over here. This is everything that you need. So mugs of your choice. So I'm gonna make one for my boyfriend. And then this is a espresso coffee bean blend that I got in my hometown over Thanksgiving break. It's a espresso blend. I like my coffee a little bit stronger, but also you need a coffee grinder. So what we're gonna do is while that is boiling over there, we are, oh my gosh, let me get this. We are going to pour as your heart desires. If you want it a little stronger, you can do more than a cup. I usually do half a cup, especially depending on how strong the coffee is. This is an espresso blend, so it's gonna be stronger. It smells so good. Like, you can't smell it, but I wish you could. So we're gonna grind it. So the thing is, you don't want to grind it fine, because what happens is when you're using a French press, it is harder to press down and then the grounds are gonna get into your coffee. So you want it to be a little coarse. So come a little closer so you could see. So I kind of like to press down 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I slap the top a little bit. I'll give it a little more, a little shake. So if you look a little closely, it's kind of coarse. So we're gonna maybe a little more. So we'll do, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is absolutely perfect. So the next thing that you do is grab your French press and we're gonna pour it into here like that. When that starts boiling, we have to do a process called blooming, which you have to pour it not all the way on top. So when the water boils, you have to pour it over the coffee beans and let it sit for 30 seconds, and then it blooms. Then after that 30 seconds, then you pour the water in, okay? While we're waiting for the water to still boil, I like to make a milk frother. I'm a little bougie, so we're gonna do that. You can use your choice of coffee creamer. I like Chobani, and then I use a little bit of lactate-free milk, and we're gonna get this ready to go. So this is my milk frother. It's really cheap. You don't have to buy an expensive one. This one I got from Target for 30 bucks, and it's awesome. I really wanted an espresso one, but it was like 100 bucks. So an espresso, if you wanna promote me to have one of those, that would be cool. Anyways, so the way you do this, plug it in here, and this thing really does froth up, so you don't want to put too much, at least in this one. So you want to give it a little shake, 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 shake. And then there's a line right here where it says min. It's kind of hard to see, but it's in there. So I'm gonna pour up to where it says min, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of a splash of milk. I don't like to put a bunch of creamer because then it makes it too sweet. So then we're gonna throw the top on. I can hear the water boiling. Can you hear that? It's boiling. So you don't want it to be like super duper boiling hot. So we're gonna grab it. If you can listen real quick, listen. Sizzling. Okay, so that's perfect. So if I were to open this and it's steaming, Perfect. You don't want it boiling hot because what'll happen, it will burn your coffee. So now, watch this. We're gonna pour this just to where it's over the coffee, like that. And then we're gonna let it sit for 30 seconds. While it's doing that, you can see the milk is frothing. I'm gonna get a spoon, and you wanna mix it to where the coffee grounds aren't dry on top anymore. So if you look now, you see, they kind of sunk to the bottom now. That's how you know you have good coffee, because bad coffee with a bunch of additives, it'll all float to the top. So, another tip. So I'm going to put this back in the fridge so it's not sitting out. I'm shocked my French Bulldog isn't over here at my feet. She usually comes over here a lot. Fernie, what are you doing? Come here. Come here. There she is. That's my dog. Yeah. Anyways, so now this has been about 30 seconds. Just gonna give it another little stir, kind of like this. You can't have this word. So now there is a pouring technique. Okay, I learned this from a bartender many years ago, and you're supposed to pour it in a circle. It has something to do with the coffee and it brewing better, apparently. I don't know. I started doing it that way, though. It does make a difference when you're tasting it. So you're going to take it, and you just kind of start pouring it in a circle, like this. Okay. And now, if you look, sitting there. Okay. So now we're going to give it a couple more minutes. If you're ever in the Florida Keys, you should check out Cafe Mocha. They are an amazing French coffee shop / pastry cafe. I love them. I'm so excited that I was able to grab some of their coffee beans. They roast their own beans there, and the owners are absolutely so sweet. Love them. Anyways, so it looks like this is fully frosted. So what I'm gonna do, I give it a little tap. If you were wondering why you give it a tap, is it releases the bubbles off of the cup. That's why whenever you go to a coffee shop, you see them slamming it on the table. And then I kind of give it a little swivel like this. Okay, right? Okay. So then while we're doing that, I'm just gonna give it one final stir. Yeah, that's gonna be strong. Woo-hoo. Okay, so now the time has come. So now you place this on top, slowly press down. You do not want to just psh, because I've had it explode on me before. I've had to learn the hard way. So we're gonna press down slowly. Okay, and then we'll bring over the first cup. Okay. Look at that color. I'm going to pour it in that cup. And then we'll pour it in this cup. Okay. So now, after you do that, you take a creamer. I like to give it a little tilt. And then give it a little mix. I don't do all fancy latte art like that, though. It's a little bougie for me. I mean, I could maybe figure it out, but kudos to the baristas that can do latte art, because it's hard. Anyways, so now, final test. Let's taste it. All right, cheers. Coffee o'clock. It's tasty. But yeah, so that is how you make French press coffee. I hope you guys can try making it at home. It's been real this semester. Shout out to our professor. Thank you for teaching us how to communicate. It's been real, y'all.